The U.S. Senate passed its own version of the defense bill before lawmakers left for a late summer recess.
It passed with strong bipartisan support, but is significantly different than the bill passed by the House 2 weeks ago. Alex Cameron has more on what makes the Senate's version different.
Well, both Oklahoma senators voted for the bill, which they say reflects an evolving shift away from America's war on terror mentality of the past 20 years and back to a focus on conventional warfare.
In a conventional war, we got to have a lot of technology to defend ourselves in land, on sea, and in the air.
And Senator Markwayne Mullin, who sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee, says that means making significant investments in technology and infrastructure, and plenty of it in Oklahoma.
We've got a lot of infrastructure investment, be it from Vance to Altus, to Tinker.
Specifically, the bill calls for $78 million for Tinker's KC-46 depot maintenance hangar, $77 million for Fort Sill's microgrid and backup power project, $8 million for a new pilot training center at Vance, and more.
We have items for every single one of our bases in our post in Oklahoma that are in this National Defense Authorization.
And Senator Lankford notes there's also a 5% pay raise for all service members. He and Mullin say there's no room for partisanship when it comes to supporting our men and women in uniform and in keeping pace with adversaries like China.
We're not trying to get into a war with China, nor should we try to. The United States doesn't try to get into a war with anyone. But we've got to remain strong and not ignore the threats that are coming at us.
As for the divisive abortion, diversity, and gender measures that were included in the House version, Mullin says they're unlikely to survive reconciliation.
A lot of that stuff's going to be probably pulled out, unfortunately, because there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Now, beyond those culture war items, there's plenty of overlap in the two bills, including the total price tag, $886 billion. In our Washington Bureau, I'm Oklahoma's own Alex Cameron.